It's the Memphis Sports Network, WMC Memphis, WMFS HD2 Bartlett Memphis, WMFS FM and HD1 Bartlett, WMFS Memphis, ESPN 790 AM and 92.9 FM ESPN.
Watch the sunrise, new day's dawning, and it's calling you and me, where the mighty Mississippi flows by Memphis, Tennessee. We've got woodlands, fields, and water. Hey, there is no better way. You can find out all about it on Outdoors with Larry Ray. Make some time. Take the family, ask a friend, but don't delay. Listen up and learn about it on Outdoors with Larry Ray. Listen up and learn about it on Outdoors with Larry Ray.
Good Saturday morning and welcome to another edition of the award-winning Outdoors with Larry Ray on ESPN 790 AM. Brought to you proudly by Tennessee Wildlife Resource Agency, Barton Power Sports, Sportsman's Warehouse, and Best Care Home Services. Now, here's your host, Larry Ray.
Hey, good Saturday morning. Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray on this May 27th. John Gordon is sitting here taking all this in. He's been really quiet, but I know in the back of his mind he says, let's talk some hunting sometime. You know?
Well,
Well, a lot of fishing today, Larry,
Fishing today's
so
okay.
It's great. I love to fish. But,
I know you love to
you
fish.
know, and I asked John if he wanted to go fishing, but I guess he doesn't fish with those guys that support the school up north, as he would say.
We're not getting into that, but he's an Avery man, so appreciate
Yes,
John
he
being
is.
here from Avery. And, of course, Ron Wong, he is now the official spokesman for Dollar Tree Stores. If you listened to the show earlier, you will see him.
I can't believe you're bringing that up again.
Yeah.
You and John both.
No, I'm gonna. That's gonna
pick
be.
on Ron
I'm
today.
getting you a T-shirt from Dollar Tree. All right. Let's talk a little fishing right now with Chad Warner. He is the brand manager for Pradco Fishing out of my favorite area of Arkansas, Fort Smith, which I went to school right up the road. And since y'all were throwing plugs at these guys are throwing darts at each other here because one likes one Mississippi school and the other one likes the other one. So I'll just throw in the University of Arkansas in there. Hey, Chad, how you doing, buddy?
Man, I'm doing great, Larry. Thanks for having me on.
Let's talk a little fishing because Pradco has a few little fishing things. When I think of them, and most of them I'm wearing hoodies or sweatshirts or T-shirts or whatever it might be, and I'll run into some store and it'll say Yum, and they say, "Well, golly, did you work for the place that that sells sandwiches and things?" I don't know.
Yeah.
This is not the right Yum. This is the Yum kind, but different brands. I know you as the pro staff manager and brand manager. I don't know how you guys keep from bumping into each other because Pradco has such it's almost the octopus of fishing because you have so many ventures that you go out. So explain to our listeners out there a little bit about the Pradco brand.
Sure, man. We've got needs to fit everybody in regards to fishing. I like to manage the aggressive angler, what we call the aggressive angler, the pro staff, the aggressive angler, guy that likes to fish tournaments on the weekend. And kind of the hardcore guy. My brands cater to those guys, so that'd be Yum, Booyah, Norman, and Bandit. So we like to have a good time. We like to fish, and so that's kind of my responsibility.
And then, of course, a lot of our folks are familiar with Bandit because, come out of Mississippi, and you guys have taken over that part to explain How's things going with the Bandit side? Because I get
Man,
that question.
Bandit is rolling right now. Yeah, we picked up Bandit in 2014 right out of Stardust from Chris Ross. And,
Right.
And man, haven't missed a beat since we took that over. You know, of course, the workhorse. I call it the workhorse in the Bandit line, the Bandit 200.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know if a guy, if you're a crankbait guy, if you don't have a Bandit 200, I wouldn't consider you a crankbait guy. You got to have a Bandit 200, at least one or two in the box. So, you know, we hadn't missed a beat with Bandit. Sales are strong, doing really great. There's a market that's actually has really been on fire here recently, and it wasn't expected. It's kind of one of those things that just happened, and it's up in the northern market for
Really?
walleye. We've got a walleye bait up there. It's a deep walleye Bandit and a shallow walleye Bandit, and it is absolutely on fire around Lake Erie and the Great Lakes. They're trolling these monster walleye. And, you know, those guys can't get enough of them. You know, those walleye guys are kind of like smallmouth guys. Those walleye guys they're color guys. They really like colors.
I love colors,
so,
yeah. And
so, man, they've got the wildest looking colors like purple haze and polka dots and Wonder Bread.
Wonder Bread.
Yeah.
Come on. Come on.
Larry loves that.
I love
it. Looks like a Wonder Bread sack.
I just want to be that person that names these things and also gets to pick the colors, because when I ever kick the bucket, I'm going to go to that. That's on my bucket list. Not kicking the bucket.
Yeah.
But,
I got to tell you, you know, and what they do with those colors, it's pretty
important.
amazing.
It's important.
That's very important.
Yeah.
And
we only had two colors back in my day, you know. But, you know, black and white.
Black
or
and
whatever.
white.
Yeah. Then they threw in chartreuse, which I could never spell. You know, that was my fault, but with chartreuse. Can anybody spell so? You know.
Yeah, it's absolutely amazing what these guys are doing with colors up there. You know, some of these special painters, they'll get a hold of some blanks, or they'll buy some clear bodies, and they'll just go to town, and they create some masterpieces. Some of those baits, you know, I'd rather hang it on the wall than put it in the water, honestly.
Well,
it looks that good.
Well,
and they're flat out catching them up there.
Hey, Chad, you guys at one time had a brand. It's now gone, but you're incorporating it into your Booyah brand, and that's your Booyah Hard Knocker. Some of the hard baits are coming back. It used to be the old Excaliburs.
Yeah.
That people have been asking for because they were so effective.
That Excalibur brand, you know, we discontinued the brand about a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years ago. And initially, when we discontinued that brand, the thought process was, well, we're going to begin a hard bait category in Booyah, and it just made sense to transition some of those models that really sold well and really effective at catching fish. And the first two were the Hard Knocker, the One Knocker, which were the XR50 and the XR75. So basically, what we did is we just rebranded that bait and moved it directly into Booyah. So there's a lot of questions out there. Guys will say, "Oh, it's not the same bait." Man, I'm here to tell you, it's the exact same mold. Now, some of the paint schemes are a little different. We kept some of those, but some of the paint schemes are a little different. But it's the exact same bait, same hook, same mold. It's just as effective, but it's called just a name change, Hard Knocker and One Knocker. And then we also brought the Excalibur, which was the Zell Pop.
Yep.
The Zell Pop.
Same story with that. Same story with that. And we pushed it into Booyah and called it the Boss Pop.
That's Ozell Rowland, our buddy here, who grew up in Whitehaven.
That's right.
And right out of Memphis, in Memphis here. But, again, we're talking to Chad Warner. He's the brand manager, Pradco Fishing for Booyah, Yum, Norman, and the Bandit Lures. And a lot of folks don't understand what Pradco even means. You know, I've had some people say, what is that? So it stands for, this is your first quiz of the day. John Gordon, you know?
I do not know what it stands for.
Ron, you know?
I forgot.
Well, I wonder if Chad knows.
I guess I'm going to be the one to have to answer this question.
It's plastic. Let's see.
It stands for Plastics Research and Development Company.
That's what I was coming out with
that.
I knew that, too. Yeah.
But we're testing you.
I did not know it.
You did not. So you just learned something on Outdoors with Larry Ray.
I did.
And Chad, I didn't even tell him, you know, we don't have questions
That's
here.
Cool.
You know, we just do that thing. But
hey, Chad, Yum also is another brand for and I have a quick story. Took Larry Ray fishing one time.
Yeah, you did.
And I had about 4 packs of green pumpkin, purple flake, Yum Dingers.
Yum Dingers.
4-inch ones.
Yeah.
And I put one on his hook, wacky style, no weight, and he says, we're going to catch fish with that.
That's right. I said that,
And
we did.
and it took me 5 casts to catch one. Took me another 3 or 4 to catch another one. Then Larry started catching me. He says, "Gosh, he's really worked."
Yeah, that's right. They
But
were
that's-
wacky.
That's
Yeah.
one of your staples of the Yum line, isn't it?
The Dinger is the number one selling model in Yum.
The Dinger,
And not
that's
by
it.
just a little bit, by far. And there's a reason for that, is
Yeah.
because, number one, it flat out catches fish under multiple situations and scenarios.
Yep.
I agree.
You know, you can rig it multiple ways. And, man, when I have someone fishing with me in the back of the boat that might not have a lot of experience or
Yep.
hasn't fished a lot or is new to the sport,
Yeah.
that is the bait I tie on for them. I either wacky rig it for them or wacky rig it with a little weight, weighted kind of like
That's
a
what
flick
he
shake
did.
weight.
Yeah.
And it will absolutely get that person hooked in the back of the boat if they've never fished before, because you're going to catch them on it.
And, there's a fairly new lure. It's about a year and a half old that Yum has, and that's the Christie Critter. Comes both in a regular size and a baby Christie Critter. What a bait.
Right.
Yo, it's a phenomenal bait. That's another great bait. Jason Christie designed that bait from the get-go. Very similar to a brush hog. That's what he wanted, something similar to a brush hog.
But
But he
a
wanted to make a
different
few
size.
tweaks and possibly make the bait better. What he did is he sized the bait properly from a circumference view or a thickness point
Yep.
of view. That way, that bait holds up a little bit longer. Adjusted some of the flange and the tails to his liking. So it's a pro-driven 100% bait, and that's another bait that you can use multiple ways. You can Texas rig it, Florida rig it, Carolina rig it. You can use it as a jig trailer. It's just a great flipping bait. When you're flipping heavy cover, brush, grass, etc. Great bait.
I want a bait named after. I want the Ray Tattletale Flippy Top Red Brush Hog lure named for Ray. That's my goal, and just lay it on me when I die. That's
it.
Yeah, just put it down there. I'm sitting there. If you don't get something out of this, you need to eat some more breakfast. Because this is probably this is one of my favorite segments right here. I mean, I'm listening and I'm learning, for a guy that's saying, wow, but you can go to Sportsman's Warehouse, where I go for a lot of my stuff.
Oh, absolutely.
Because they are a sponsor of this show, of course. But you can go in and just look for these Pradco brands, and they will blow your mind to know what's coming out of Fort Smith and other things. And Pradco is branched out in so many different ways, whether it's hunting or fishing on the side. But Chad, we have loved to have you on there, buddy. You give us lots of information. It felt like we had a 3-minute interview here, but it's time to let you go and go back to your nap.
Guys, I appreciate you having me. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah,
guys.
let's stay in.
If you're ever in Fort Smith, come look me up.
We will definitely look you
I'll
up.
see you in a few weeks.
Stay in touch with us, and tell Bruce Stanton that he can take his nap now, too. Okay?
I will do. You guys have a good day.
Thanks. All right, Chad Warner. All right, let's take a break. I'm worn out from all them names coming through here. I got to take an Advil, and of course I've got to go to, what's the name of that place? Dollar Tree. As soon as I leave here, is that Dollar Tree? Was that what? Huh?
No, not Dollar General, Dollar Tree.
Dollar Tree. We have become that sponsor for them. Let's take a break, come back. We're going to talk a little crappie with the man himself, and Ron was there when this guy won again. I mean,
It was so awesome.
it's awesome. We'll be
It
right
was
back
so
on Outdoors with Larry Ray.
You can find out all about it on Outdoors with Larry